What's going on, everyone? We are back. Real Deal Sports. Got the usual guys, man. We missed you guys. We got Walt, man, down there with the Cleveland Brown uni. They had a tough loss yesterday, but I can't talk. Them Bears, something different. Um, got my boy John. What's going on, guys? How y'all guys doing?
I'm good. Do I have enough pillows, by the way? I didn't know if I had enough pillows for the shot.
Now you
Man, I'm
look
about to
real
say
comfy.
I'm actually not in my house.
You look real comfy.
Yeah, I just
I
want to,
need to get. I was about to say I need to get like John. I need to get some pillows or
Yeah,
something.
right. John lavish.
I don't
John
know what
living
this
lavish.
is, but just in case, we got this thing here. So
Right.
whatever that is. So yeah,
No, but it's good to be back, man. I know we had a little
No.
layoff, man, but it definitely feels great to be back. You know what I'm saying? Especially doing the stuff that I know we all love to do, man. So
Yes, sir.
we'll get back.
100%.
We'll get back to it. You feel me?
And I think we all came back at a good time, man. The NFL coming to an end, the playoffs about to start. Now it's that win, go home. And then, January is when the NBA start picking up. 'Cause now you
Hmm.
plan for, you know, rankings and seedings. If you see somebody at number 8, you don't really want that smoke with. You might lose a couple games. Be that number 2 seed, like, whew, dodge that bullet. The Clippers know what I mean. No, let me stop.
I mean, hey, LeBron knows what you mean.
Ah!
LeBron has perfected
Clippers didn't want no smoke with the Lakers last
using
year.
the 2 seed to.
And then they still almost lost. But, Luka didn't have no
we don't
help.
even
But
we don't even want to talk about the Lakers right now, man.
yeah,
Jesus,
yeah.
that's
We're
oof.
gonna leave them alone.
You say that for another day.
So, okay, John, what is our first topic?
Man, I want to talk about these records, man, because first off, this record came out of nowhere. I wasn't paying attention to it. I didn't hear talk about it, but Aaron Rodgers passes Brett Favre for the all-time Packers touchdown record. Like
Yes, sir. Yeah.
We
that's
give him a round. We give him a round of applause for that. I guess we can
I
do
ain't
that. We
giving
give
him
him a
no
little round
round
of
of
applause for that.
applause.
That's because
all
you
right.
What
embarrassed.
do y'all look like?
we'll give Brett his benefit of the doubt or whatever it's called. Like he played during their tougher rules. It wasn't easy to put up 40 touchdowns every year, but
True.
everyone's not still throwing 40 touchdowns every year now either. I mean, Aaron
That's
Rodgers
true.
is special. Like you think about it, Matt LaFleur is the first coach to ever win 12 games in his first 3 seasons as a coach. Like a lot of that has to do with Aaron Rodgers. So he is a special guy, and definitely what he's doing there. But yeah, it just crept up on us, man. I didn't even know that record was in doubt. And then here's Aaron Rodgers, and he passes him. And meanwhile, the other guy down in Cleveland, he's throwing it he also was throwing it to the other team. So he was throwing it.
And they did it against Cleveland too.
No, you didn't.
He was throwing. He
That's-
threw
No,
4
you
of them to the Packers too. So yeah, it was a fun little game.
Okay.
they just gotta throw that in my face, man. That's fine. I
Hey,
still
but
give him a
you,
round of applause for
but
that,
you
man.
know
Even though it
what?
was against my
You know,
team, it's
you know
fine.
what though,
That's just
John?
typical.
When Cincinnati win the Super Bowl, we're gonna clap for them too. Ain't that right, Walt? Oh,
Hey,
now you don't want to clap.
wait. You know what
Now
my
he don't want to clap.
my
You
favorite
said Cincinnati.
do you know what my
Yeah.
favorite AFC team has been since I was a kid? Cincinnati. So yeah, if they're able to pull it off, the great Joe Burrow, and we'll still celebrate. Well, we'll still celebrate that one for you. Still count.
No, we're not celebrating that, even though it is Ohio, but we're not celebrating that. We can't do that. I don't want to even
Yeah.
disrespect Cleveland like that at all, man.
Wow.
But
But
like
you
I said,
want me to clap for Green Bay? Ain't that about nothing?
yes, you have to. Only because
No,
it's Aaron
no, I
Rodgers. He's a
don't.
bad man. He's a bad man.
He all
He
right.
owns you
He
guys.
ain't did
He
nothing.
owns you guys.
He
He's
ain't
dead.
did nothing.
Hey, but let's talk about the other bad man from Cleveland. This man posted last week, LeBron James. He has now played in the NBA longer than he from his time before NBA. So from the time he was
Yeah.
born to the time he was drafted, he has now played. He's been in the NBA longer than he's more than half of his life. How incredible of a run is that? Like for him, I mean that's an insane. And same thing. He didn't even realize something like that. I think someone else posted it, and LeBron was he was caught off guard by that statistic. He's like, "Are you that's amazing." And maybe he
That's
didn't
crazy.
know it, but whatever. I don't know. But
It's just longevity.
it's
That's
just funny.
really
Yeah, it's great
longevity.
to think. I mean, I've been watching him since I was a kid now.
And I was
Yeah.
just about to say it just goes to show that it's LeBron goes to show that LeBron how much he spends and endorsing his body on his body. You know what I'm saying, and how he puts that work in the off season and during the season to make sure he stays healthy so he can play 19 years. And it just, like I said, just adds on to his greatness, man. It's just crazy. That's a crazy stat line. That's just a lot more. That's a lot of that's a lot of basketball.
That's a lot of mileage on your body too.
You know, a lot of people like
Man.
A lot of NBA mileage.
Was that lightning in a bottle or whatever it's called, where you got a guy like Jordan come in, win 6 rings in 6 straight years that he played, whatever. Well, technically 7, but whatever. But endurance rewards to me are just as impressive. Like guys who can be in the league this long, 18 years. Same for Aaron Rodgers, right? Like even though he is an impressive player, still have to have the endurance to go out there and also play long enough to do these kind of break these kind of records. So
very true.
I always enjoy these, especially seeing guys play the same place their whole lives. Who knows? Maybe we'll see Aaron Rodgers go somewhere else. But I enjoyed seeing Dirk and Kobe and them finish their careers where they started and stuff like that. So yeah, it's always cool to see this kind of stuff and breaking team records, even though it's not like so much NFL records. It's still big deals, man. Real big deals. So it's really
And it goes to show that the old man can still hang with these young bucks, man.
We talking about both of them, Rodgers and LeBron, or LeBron?
Yeah, both of them. Both of them. Especially like I said, just to be doing that at both of their positions. LeBron, being pretty much still the top tier of the NBA, and Aaron Rodgers still being one of the top tier quarterbacks in the NFL. So it's like to still be doing that and that long.
Listen. Don't call him old. I'm right behind him. Don't call him old. Yeah, it's just I'm chasing him.
I'm talking about old, like in sports years. I mean, not old as in age. I mean in sports years. I mean that's all I'm saying.
My wife the other day pointed out a truck. She goes, "Oh, I really like that old truck over there." I'm like, that truck is the same as old as us. Like that, it's like 1990. Like stop calling it old. Stop calling it old. All right, let's go to the last one real quick. Cooper Kupp, man. Does he break the record? I'm thinking he's going to come a little shy because I'm not going to lie. He had an amazing game today off of one play. But honestly, up until that play, like the Vikings were double, triple teaming him the whole game. And I kind of think other teams are going to do it too because the Rams are forcing this record. I think it's going to be hard for him to even break Calvin Johnson's record. Can he go for 2,000 though?
I don't think so. I don't think he can. I think he's gonna fall a little short. Almost like when Steph was trying to break the 3-point record. Teams are not gonna want to be the team that he breaks the record on.
Right.
So I think as far as that go, he's gonna do it.
Now, is he falling short of 2,000 or falling short of Calvin Johnson's? Like both, or do you think he'll beat Calvin Johnson and maybe fall short of 2,000?
I think he'll get Calvin Johnson's.
Okay.
That 2,000, man, you gotta be on another level.
I think they're gonna try to force Calvin Johnson's record because they clearly were today. And maybe we'll see. Depending on where the game is, the last game, they might lay off the 2,000 if they already have the record. But if they're close, then they might go for it. But yeah, I don't know. I think he's gonna fall a little short, man. If these teams keep playing him like this, man, it was tough out there for him today.
Yes, it was.
I mean, I would say it was tough for him, but I mean, Matthew Stafford threw the ball to him 15 times, and he caught it 12. I don't.
But
that's a tough day.
But it was like Steph Curry's threes. I mean, they're setting 2, 3 screens, 4 screens. I mean, the amount of effort the plays they had to run to get him the ball was insane. It wasn't like he was catching it in space or nothing.
But he was still getting the ball, though.
You know what? It's similar
to right. But I'm saying, like, how many plays can you design where you have Odell Beckham throwing blocks? Like, you can't be doing that to Odell the whole game, man. You just can't. And at some point, teams I don't know, man. It was forced. It was really forced hard, and they had one big play that broke it. Outside that, he started the game for 6 catches for 40 yards. I mean, he wasn't getting downfield or nothing. And then he broke one 40-yarder, and then that really put him over the top. But it's tough, man. It looked hard out there because they were trying to throw everything they could just to get him the ball.
True. It's almost similar to Michael Thomas in New Orleans. Drew Brees kept feeding him the ball because he was efficient. He was catching it. I would do the same thing about Stafford.
I was just about to say, if it's working, why not keep on trying to design plays to get Cooper Kupp open? I mean, he had 10 receptions, 109 yards. Granted, he ain't had no touchdowns, but I mean,
Yeah.
10 receptions. I would love that. And you threw it to
Right,
him 14 times, and I'm a
but he
receiver.
had 9 catches for 60 yards up until that 40-yarder. That's what I'm saying. Like they were
But
shutting
that's
that
what But that's
because
what Cooper Kupp
my,
does,
my
though. I
only
mean,
point is
if you look at Cooper Kupp's game, he is like a short tier guy. He wants I get a 5 yards here, or I'll get 6 yards here, and then I'm gonna bust out a little 12 yarder or something right there. He's not a big play guy for real. He's a short route guy who gets a lot of receptions because of that. And him and it's just like they going back to what I think Lewis Reddick even said. It's like him and Matthew Stafford's like chemistry is just ridiculous, man. Because I mean, for him to even be that close to this record in all three categories, man, it's just insane. I mean, I understand that you said he had a tough day, but 10 receptions, 109 yards, I'd take that. I mean, if I'm a receiver.
I will too, but what I'm saying is if you go watch those same plays, other people were wide open, right? So that's what I'm saying is, are you willing to sacrifice a win to get this guy a record? Because they almost did
Sure.
today.
Okay.
I mean, they
Okay.
almost sacrificed the win to get this record. So that's where it's like, is it worth it? I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. It depends on where the game is. If the games are close, I don't think he's going to get it. If the games are blowouts, then I say he's going to go for it. They'll get it.
And you know what? I do apologize. You're right, because I think it was like the end of the second quarter. They was trying to throw a little fade route to Cooper Kupp, and it was I think they had Hinckley right there on the little short route, and he threw it to Kupp, and he had three defenders on him, and he could have just easily threw it to Hinckley right there, and easily could have got the touchdown. But I mean, I see what you're saying though. They definitely did try to force it though, so I got you.
It might be some incentives. That's what it really might be. Might be some incentives. Like, look,
I don't know what kind of incentive out there. If you signed that contract that says if you get 2,000 yards, you get another 500,000.
hey, you tripping? People will do it though.
That's an insane incentive. But
You never know.
hey, with 17 games though, I can see this record getting broken eventually. And especially if they add 18 games, then Calvin Johnson's record, it won't get blown open, but it'll be gone within the next 5 to 10 years easily.
Sure.
Let's move on over to NBA then. Kyrie Irving back.
And then he went right into COVID protocol right after.
Yeah, that's the thing though, is like half the NBA's in that apparently now. I don't know. It's that time of year though. Like I'm not sure I think people are just sick. You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of these guys are just sick. It's that time of year. People are getting sick and it spreads. But
I can agree with that. I mean, they might be just because they might be overlooking this COVID and stuff a lot because, I mean, especially like up here in Ohio, you got one day is 60 degrees, next day is 30 degrees. So, I mean that's
someone just brought back
a way that you can get a
someone
cold
just
for real.
brought back 2 41-year-old dudes. So the teams are short. Like they brought back Jamal and Quentin Richardson. So are you surprised they brought back?
Wait. Really?
Yeah, Quentin
Quentin
Richardson
Richardson?
and Crawford are back on 10-day contracts.
For who?
I'd have to look it up again, but
Okay,
this is the Kyrie Irving bit. Are you surprised they brought him back?
Joe Johnson back too for the Celtics.
Yep, hit a bucket too.
No, it's
Um,
not surprising because there's so many bodies on the bench.
Right.
It's like, look, we're at a point now where it's like, bruh, we got to bring him back. Hopefully, he doesn't get anyone sick. But the NBA or most of these sport franchises are always about winning. If you can help them win, you can do whatever as long as you're helping them win.
You say that. I mean, not all of them are about winning. Minnesota maybe not so much, but they are winning this year. So, hey, no, that's a shot at the organization, not the player. I'm a huge Karl-Anthony Towns fan. But
all I'm gonna say is I wish I had Kyrie's agent because I wish I can get paid full-time money and do a part-time job like Kyrie, man. That is ridiculous. I just feel like that's just insane. The fact that this man gets to get paid full-time money.
Or even think about a lot of them clutch sport clients. They were still getting paid even when they wasn't playing during COVID.
I'm here for it because it's not like he doesn't want to play those games. You know what I mean?
I get it, but I mean,
he can't play them.
So I get that, man. I get it, but it's just the fact that, bro, it's a certain guidelines and stuff that you have to follow in the NBA, man. My thing is, if the top guys in the NBA are doing these, following these guidelines, why can't you? And you supposedly said you're one of the top guys in the NBA. Why can't you follow the same guidelines that the
Because
LeBrons
that's
and
not an NBA
the
guideline.
Giannis's?
That's a New York guideline, right? So
I mean, it's not, but but it's not. But I mean, if everybody in the NBA is trying to get the vaccination to where they can try to stop this from happening, what's happening already now, I mean, why not try to,
well, I mean,
just say, chew the bullet and just do it.
All those dudes were vaccinated and they all still got it. So it's a tough decision for everyone to make. But let's move on. Who from this group are you most? For me, it's Isaiah Thomas. I'm excited to see Isaiah Thomas back in the league. I think he deserves to be there more than any of these other guys. Obviously, Kyrie, talent level, but outside Kyrie, like he was already. Are these guys come back on these 10-day contracts? Do you think are you excited actually to see any of these guys?
Oh yeah, very much so. I was excited to see Stanley Johnson playing well for the Lakers last night. Now he may not do much, but at least the positive and negative about COVID is giving some of these guys second chance.
Yeah.
To play, to play our way into a full season contract.
That's a good way to put that. I didn't even look at it like that. It's kind of giving like these like other guys that didn't really make the NBA a second chance, and
Yeah.
it makes sense. That not that Miko kind of put it like that, but I mean, I disagree with John. I don't think I want to see Isaiah back, especially the way he's been shooting lately, man. It's like every time he come in the game, he just jacking the ball up.
He's a gun, right? He was like Nate Robinson. You knew what he was there for. He was there to shoot.
Right.
But yeah, we could talk about that another time. But I mean, I'm honestly excited to.
I'm not saying I want to see him on a championship team with the Lakers. I don't know if he deserves to be there yet, but I'd like to see him get a fit somewhere with some team. I think he deserves to be in the league, and he's got talent to play somewhere. I hate seeing guys like that just not get the opportunity. But yeah, does he deserve to be point guard for the Lakers? That is debatable. I'll agree with Walt on that. All right, so last one then. Let's move over to NFL because back over to the NFL playoff picture.
Got the playoff picture as of 10 minutes ago.
Are y'all surprised by these teams that are up at the top, in the playoff picture?
All right, you want me to read them off?
You don't have to. I'm just saying if you want to look down the list and see like what ones are you surprised that are in, and maybe ones that maybe a team that you're surprised didn't make it.
You know what? I'm not so much surprised. I'm more excited to see these matchups, honestly. Because one of the first wild card games would be Buffalo and the Titans. I think that would be a good game.
Okay.
Derrick Henry, King Henry might be back. We don't know.
Well, then it'll be a good game.
We see today Buffalo's not the best running defense. So, that might play into Tennessee's hands. And then, A.J. Brown came alive this past Thursday. They still got Julio. Julio's Julio when he's not injured. He's injured. He ain't a shell of himself. He's just injured.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just making a face. Go ahead.
No, your face said it all. All right.
I'm letting you have your moment, bro.
Then the second game, really the 4 and 5 game. That's the game I would want to see. The Colts versus the Bengals. I think it would be interesting to see how the Colts defense approach Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon coming out the backfield. And then you still got a mobile quarterback in Joe Burrow. You see Kyler got loose on him last night. He didn't score, but he got loose. And then the 3 and 6 game will be New England versus the Chargers. So really, Buffalo and Tennessee, those will be rematches from earlier this year, where King Henry had probably a game of his life. and then Justin Herbert would get his second shot at New England after looking pretty bad when they played them earlier this season. So, out of those 3 games, which ones would you guys like to see?
To be honest, I don't have a lot of excitement about the AFC because I think those individual games will be exciting, but they're all going to fall to Kansas City. So at the end of the day, it's like, do I really care that much? Those teams aren't put together, man. The Ravens are beat up. The Bills don't run the ball. They
Well,
refuse
shoot,
to
as of
run.
right now, the Ravens not even in the picture.
The Bills could be up 21 points and they still would throw the ball 10 straight plays. So I don't like that kind of offense. It's a personal thing. Maybe it works for the Bills, but the AFC. I mean, you talk about like I'm so proud of like how Joe Burrow's turned around the Bengals from what they were last year, but they're still only 9-6, and he's third in the AFC. Like, how are you third in the AFC at 9-6? That's a weak division or conference. So yeah, my excitement is all in the NFC right now because I honestly can look at the NFC and be like, I don't know who's coming out of there. You think about it, the Chiefs lead at 10-4. The NFC alone has 4 teams at 10-4. So there's a lot of excitement.
Those are the teams that's gonna win.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's 4 teams that I don't know who's gonna come out of those 4. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the Bucks, the Rams, the Packers, and the Cowboys, and I'm sitting there, because the Cardinals, man, I'm just sorry, they're just not the same. So I'm looking at 4 teams, and those are going to be some real exciting matchups.
Go ahead, Walt. My bad. Go ahead. It's your turn.
No, I'm about to say I'm gonna have but to answer John's question, I think he said, "What's the surprise team in the AFC?" I definitely have to say the Bengals. That's definitely the surprise team because I mean, they started off, I think, 3-4, if I'm not mistaken, or
something like that,
like 2-2, something like that. And I mean, now granted that the Ravens have had a lot of injuries, and they kind of like dismantled themselves in the standings. But like I said, the Bengals, they've been playing great. Burrows, if he wasn't hurt last year, I feel like this would be the same way that Burrows would be playing last year. Honestly, he's doing a great job in Cincinnati. I really wish he could have came to the Browns, but yeah, that's their system and the scheme that's set up for Burrows in the Cincinnati is just great. That's my surprise team. And like John said, in the NFC, it's a toss up right now because I mean you got the Packers, you got the Cowboys, you got the Rams, the Bucks. It's a toss up. I really don't know who's coming out the NFC, so I can't give you no answer on the NFC. But yeah, my surprise team in the AFC is most definitely the Bengals.
Yeah, so that's what my 2 for the AFC is. My surprise upside is Bengals, and then downside, I don't want to say Ravens because they've been beat up. I would maybe go Chargers. I would say maybe Chargers or Steelers. I mean, yeah, Browns are there, right. But I think the Browns have been ripped off by the refs a lot, so I don't think a lot of it's their fault. But I would say probably the Chargers or Steelers. Like they've kind of, I thought they would, I thought Ben Roethlisberger would be back in the gym and show some potential. Instead he was like, you know what, this is retirement year. And then the Chargers, I thought we'd see a little bit more growth out of them, right? But we'll see. And then in the NFC, Eagles, man, like Eagles are my, now they could easily slip out and fall and lose the next 2, but I'm saying right now, I'm a little surprised. I thought this was the year Daniel Jones was finally going to figure some stuff out and maybe go 9-7, 10-6, something like that. But well, I guess 17th game, so not 9-8 or 10-7, whatever. But the Giants are really flopped. So yeah, I would say the Eagles were my surprise, like upside. And then on the downside, man, the Seahawks. Like Russell Wilson was there all year. You know what I mean? Like I know some
don't want to be there.
But as I'm saying, he was there all year. So it's not like Lamar Jackson where he was banged up or nothing. Like this guy had reins the whole season, still couldn't get it done this year. So those are my kind of upside downside from each conference.
Man, his defense has been so terrible this year though, man. But I mean, he hasn't been the best either though.
Yeah. Oh no, I know the Seahawks have some holes, but I mean, the greats, a lot of the greats win year in, year out. And it's kind of hard to see Russell Wilson have a season like this. Nico?
I think the one team no one wants to play is the Colts. No one wants to play the Colts. The
No.
Chiefs don't want to play the Colts.
Nope.
Titans don't want to play the Colts. Now for a third time. You already done lost to them once. New England, they just lost to the Colts.
Yeah.
So question for y'all. Y'all think that Colts is going to take this momentum into the playoffs and maybe make a run?
I do because
I think they got that Tennessee effect from a couple years ago.
Even with Carson Wentz in the backfield?
I think they got the Tennessee effect from a couple years ago.
I mean, you think about it, you're playing in some outdoor stadiums, man. You got Kansas City, you got New England, like those are all good running places, and that's what the Colts do well. I mean, Derrick Henry was able to capitalize on that a couple years ago. Remember, he took out the Ravens and the Patriots before falling.
Look what you just said though. The Colts play inside, right?
Yeah, but
they got the perfect record.
running carries over into the playoffs. Those cold
It's
games.
a whole different ball game when it's cold, though. I'm just saying though, like whole different ball game. You gotta go to New England. All right, we gonna see. We'll see. I just feel like that's. I mean, that's a lot. That's a ballsy call for y'all.
Is New England's going to run the ball too? And what's going to happen? The team with the best running game typically wins those kind of games. When it gets real cold and the wind is insane, the team who runs the best wins the game. Now once you get back in them indoor, maybe if Indy's indoor, again, running is always good. Passing it comes and goes with the weather. So, unless it's ice, then running just sucks for everybody.
I just feel like with the Colts not really having that type of experience since the Peyton Manning days, I really don't think they're going to make a deep run in there. I mean, I just feel like they're just hot right now in the regular season. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. So, I mean, I don't see them going anywhere in the playoffs, honestly, especially not with Carson Wentz in the backfield, because he's bound to make mistakes.
I think the most dangerous team in the NFC, I think, is the Packers, but it won't be for the obvious reason of Aaron Rodgers. I think A.J. Dillon is going to have a big postseason. The big number 28, 200 and what is he, like 6'1", 250 pounds, playing running back.
250, 255.
You ain't trying to tackle that, especially there. But it's already cold. Then you tell me I got to tackle a 250-pound running back?
Well, that's going to do it here for this episode of Real Deal Sports, but we'll come back. Definitely check out, like I said, turn in all your picks from week 6, week 17. Turn your picks from week 18. You can turn those in next week. You don't have to turn them in right away, but turn in week 17 this week, and you'll get a free Real Deal Sports T-shirt. And then also, maybe we'll talk about doing a gift card as well. Toss in that so you can get something. But definitely do it and check us out. Always we're gonna be on YouTube. We're gonna be on Facebook, everywhere. So watch.
Support, man. We coming to all cities.
Love y'all.